You need to test the waters before you just dive into them. I mean, how many oceans have sharks in them?
Welcome back to the channel, guys. It is Christian and
Lexi.
Today we are answering questions on why we should not get married young. Because honestly, it is literally a waste of time.
Don't do it. It's not fun.
It's literally not worth your time. It is just stressful.
You need to test the waters before you just dive into them. I mean, how many oceans have sharks in them?
That's right. There's plenty of fish out there in the sea. Even if you think you found the one, just go ahead and test them out.
I'm sorry.
We're just joking, guys, obviously. Let's get started with the first question. So let's pull this up real quick. The first question of why you shouldn't get married young. You are too young.
I feel like age shouldn't really matter of how long y'all have been together for.
A lot of people base marriage off age. Say you're like 19 or whatever and you get married and they're like, wow, you were too young. But I feel like age is just a number compared to like your maturity of who you are as a person.
I mean, like, if you already paid for everything, you have the money to do what you're doing, then why not get married?
Even if you don't have the money, if you have the mindset.
And if you've been together for like 4+ years, like, people are just waiting at that point to see if you're gonna get engaged or not.
Right. And then like, there's plenty of people that are the same age as us that aren't doing the same things as us, that are not accomplishing the same things as us, that are struggling in life. So I feel like you can't say 19 years old, because if the same person that's successful and doing well and has a game plan and knows what they're doing with their life, compared to someone that's 19 and say they don't know what they're doing, they're just throwing bricks at walls or whatever.
It all is about like mind over matter, honestly.
Right. All right, guys, let's head into question number 2. You need a college experience.
No.
I feel like this one is getting like less of a question nowadays, because I feel like less and less people are going to college.
And I mean, even like if you still want the experience, you can have it. Just why not be dating and then like get engaged? A lot of people get engaged while they're still like in college.
Why not like grow through college together?
And I feel like couples are like more stressed and don't feel like they have the right to be engaged or do any of that stuff when their parents are like, people they know did the exact same thing, because people just dawn on them so much. Like, oh, you don't need to do that. Like, you need to go to college and get your degree before you get married.
A lot of people I know that after they get their degree, they still don't do anything with that degree. And, like, they're still at home doing the same thing an other person did that didn't go to college.
I mean, to come down to the point of it, it's that person's life.
I really feel like, honestly, it's your mindset.
It really is. And a lot of people get in each other's heads.
You're either willing to work hard and get what you want, or you're just going to be lazy all your life and you're never going to get what you really want out of life. So there's a lot of people that say they want something, but how many people out of those that say they want it are going to go get that thing?
You're cracking me up.
Why?
Because you're talking so serious right now.
I'm giving life lessons out here, people. All right, guys, on to question number 3. You're not mature enough. I feel like this one kind of goes in with the age thing. Of course, there's probably a lot of people that aren't mature and haven't like paid their own bills or anything, but like, if you're prepared for it and you have like set out the budget of like what it's going to cost to get married, get an apartment, car insurance, groceries, all these other things.
Just being able to do everything on your own first.
Like, if you're prepared, that's all that matters. If you have a game plan for what it's going to cost and how you're going to work that out, then you should be perfectly fine, no matter like what age. If like, once again, it's with age and maturity. They assume that if you're young, then you're not mature. You have no idea what you're doing. But I know people that are older than me that struggle way worse than I do with stuff in life and like making bad decisions. All right, guys, on to question number 4, why you should not get married. What do we got?
Are you going to miss being single and having freedom? I think really, honestly, if you're at the point that you're thinking of marriage, you honestly should not be thinking about it.
If you're thinking of being single and you want freedom, then obviously, yeah, you probably shouldn't get married.
You shouldn't even be dating that person if you want to be single and have freedom. Because if you think of a relationship as not wanting to get married, why are you in that relationship?
Right, like if you're just in a relationship
to be in one,
like it's really not.
Does it even mean anything?
Because you're either hurting someone else's feelings that really care about you.
Right. Playing games with their mind.
Right.
I mean, There's just so much that's to that one. I feel
It's
like
not fair to the other person that's in the relationship. If
right. Or
they're
the
committed,
ones that break up when they go to college. Like say they're like, oh well, we need to focus on each other's like our own lives instead of each other's. At the
then
point,
obviously
it's
you're
like,
not committed to the other person.
Exactly.
If you're both committed, the relationship will work no matter how far away you are from each other. Alright guys, on to question number 5. You will get bored after being with the same person for so long. I feel like that just comes down to if you truly love that person. Like me and Lexi, we've been together for almost 4 years now, and we always have a blast together.
I don't think there's ever a dull moment.
I feel like we honestly have more fun as we get older together. Like
Right.
we grow as a relationship the
Right.
longer we've been together. And I feel like that's how it should work.
Like I feel like the more mature we get, the more mature we get together at the same time. Like in a couple, like
Right, like
we're just so goofy.
you get
and
more
stuff.
comfortable with the other person, that
Right.
you're willing to do things that, so you're meeting someone first off, you're not gonna be like singing Taylor Swift songs or something.
Right.
Because at the beginning of our relationship, I mean, Lexi never was singing or anything. She was quiet and always begged her
Never.
to sing. And then I was always singing. But now it's like the other way. I never sing and Lexi's always singing in the car. Which
Just
Lexi
'cause
has a really beautiful voice, if you didn't know.
On to the next question. But I mean, yeah. Honestly, like if you're with that person for 4 years or more and you're still enjoying like your time with them, obviously there's a connection. If you're with that person for 4 more years and you're struggling then at that point, then obviously you probably shouldn't be getting married.
But there is still, like, I mean, you can go out with your friends. Like, you shouldn't be restricted to not be able to hang out with any
Right.
friends at all. Like, just only with your partner.
Right. You should grow together, not apart.
And, like, grow with each other's friends. Make friends with their friends.
Yeah,
and
like,
become, like, a good group
Do a
together that fits.
friend group mainly. I would suggest not like, oh, I'm gonna go hang with the guys or I'm gonna go hang with the girls. Like that's still okay to do every now and then, but like make your friend group together so that like say if Christian's home and I have the girls over, it's not like
I'm not saying that,
kicking
like,
him to the
the
curb.
friend group is, like, dating. Like, everyone in the friend
No,
group is
just,
dating.
like,
Like,
a bunch
friends
of
that get
friends.
along together and all have a good time
We
together.
don't have any friends that are dating like together. Like Christian has his friends that like I get along with too, obviously that are here half the time, and then like my friends he gets along with too. So I mean,
You just got to find the right balance, I feel like.
right.
Alright guys, on to question number 6. You need to have a degree in a set career. I feel like
That is the biggest one that I feel like a lot of people preach on kids, and then they stress out and then they feel like they can't do anything right, and then it's just a big thing that's like, why do people think you have to go get a degree and do all that? Because I feel like it's like money wise, they think, oh, it's not going to help anything, but like when you have 2 people building together, that's a lot more money.
if you're working together with your partner, that's twice the income.
And it shouldn't affect your like knowledge or you going to school or how much money you're gonna make. It's all about growing together and making more as like
Building a
whole.
strong relationship.
Right.
Like as a foundation.
instead of just like, oh, well, I gotta go to college before I can even like think about marrying you and getting my degree. Like,
Right.
why does it affect if you just get married now? Like, of course, if it's you have to pay for everything on your own and get like your wedding and stuff, that's a different. But like the getting a degree just so you can get married.
The college one I feel like is the main one for a lot of people. Is definitely that one.
Because a lot of people get engaged, like some, like my case, engaged after I graduated high school, or other people that get engaged after they graduate from college.
It's like me and Lexi when we were probably like 3 to 4 years ago before we met each other. She wanted to play volleyball.
I was going
For
to
college.
college with volleyball, and like I had everything lined up how I wanted it. And I mean, Christian had his whole sports lined up where he was going, and he could have went.
We both could have had scholarships. Well, I did have scholarships, but
I got-
Lexi started dating me,
freshman year.
so like she took sports seriously. I would say freshman and sophomore
I
year.
think so because I did travel
And
ball.
then junior year, you kind of let off a little bit.
I did because I was like, yeah, it's fun and all, but like I'm not going pro or.
I mean, like
doing
obviously,
anything with
if
it.
you enjoy the sport, I feel like it's worth your time to do it. And sports are really good for like communication.
And if you are definitely going to college, still go with the sport so you can get it paid for because college is expensive.
That is very true. All
Oh,
right.
yeah.
On to question number 7. You're going to get cold feet. I have personally had someone tell me this one.
I mean, when I heard someone else do that, it was kind of like, why? Because I feel like if people know about our relationship, we've been together for so long, and like.
Right, but like I feel like everyone assumes the worst in what could happen as the worst.
And I feel like if you get married young, everyone's so doubtful of your capabilities. Like no one believes that you can go out and you can do everything on your own together. Like we pay for everything on our own, and I feel like our family sometimes doubts us. And it's like we never ask them for help because we want to prove to them that like we can do this on our own.
I mean, we really don't need help.
We don't need help, but it's just like we are trying to prove to them that we can do this. And I mean, I still feel like half the time they think we're kids and we don't know what we're doing.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of parents will always assume their kids. I mean, since they are your kids, they're always going to assume they know more, which
right.
in some cases is obviously not true.
And like, I mean, I feel like once you're married, like you should be able to have kids whenever is a big thing. And like how parents harp on you that you shouldn't have kids or whatever. But like once you're married, that should be your decision as a couple, not like what your parents think or
right.
how anyone else thinks. Because look at all the ones that have kids young and like their parents are so hateful at first. And then like when the baby's there, they want to be the number one grandma and stuff. Like, I mean.
That's just always going to be there. I feel like that's always going to be a thing in society right now.
Right. And like I just wish everyone could just.
Be positive.
Be positive to everybody.
Positive. If you think of the worst in every situation in life, then you're going to be scared to do anything. If you think about driving, the worst thing that could happen in driving, you get in a car accident and die. You know, like...
if you think of everything in a bad way, you wouldn't do anything.
Every time you get on a plane, what if the plane crashes and you fall into, like, the ocean and die?
Anything. Like, I mean, even if you're just sleeping in your bed and a tornado comes through or something like that.
Or
Like,
someone robs you in the house. Like,
anything.
you always got to think positive because you can't stop things from happening if they're going to happen.
And you can't have things happen in life if you don't do anything.
Like if you're just driving on the road, you can't stop another person from being drunk and driving on the other side of the road and hitting you. Like that is not something you can control.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to.
Of course, you can be cautious and try to like avoid the person, but there's no way that like
you just
in that way, I feel like God's just sentencing stuff to happen if that happens.
You just have to live your life.
You do
to the fullest capabilities, and whatever happens, happens.
You do it.
All right, guys. On to the last question of the video. Marriage isn't all happiness. I feel like that one is true.
I feel like it is to an extent because people always just like break apart from one thing that happens instead of like both working it out and like figuring out what the problem is.
Building a stronger bond.
They just have one thing and then they break apart and they don't work on it. Like I feel like that's our biggest thing is we always come together. Even our littlest arguments we have, we always come together after. And honestly, we both apologize and we're like, okay, we get it.
Even when we don't want to. Because I mean, like, the realistic thing is in every relationship, you're not always going to feel like you're in the wrong, but you still have to just man up or woman up, whatever you want to call it, and just own up and say, I'm sorry.
You do. And that is the biggest thing. And that's one of my pet peeves. If you don't own up to what you do, it's just sad. Like,
a lot of people have too big of egos to, like, just apologize. Like, that's all you have to do sometimes, and people will just refuse to do it, and that'll end a relationship.
Or, honestly, like, when you do something you know you did, you just be like, oh, I did that. Like, even if you know that you weren't supposed to do something, like, if you just own up and you're like, well, I did that, like, that's a big difference.
Right. Instead of just like, oh no, I can never be wrong. I will always be right.
Right.
I feel like you're never going to be able to work.
Oh no, a big one is how all of like the old time couples think the man do everything and the women aren't supposed to do a single thing.
Right.
And it's like when the roles are reversed or if it's like mutual, people are like, well, that's not how it's supposed to be. And like the men that are still in charge and bark orders at their wives and stuff, like that is not how it should be. It should be 50-50. Like when you tie the knot, like, okay, I get it.
One side and another side. You come together.
Right. I don't understand. That thing just really irks me is when like the man thinks he's in charge and he runs it. Because women are very sensitive. And they are. Women are sensitive.
And don't get me wrong. I mean, the house chores, those, you think they're easy. Yeah, they're simple to do.
They're not.
But they're simple to do, but like doing them every day is so
And I feel
tiring.
like you could never just have a house clean.
Right.
Like unless you have a person that comes and cleans your house
24/7.
Like you just think I am very OCD about how I like stuff, and like if I just see something out of place, I'm cleaning it. I feel like I clean every day in some way.
I feel like if you just come to an agreement on who does what or whatever, like the majority of the time I'll do the laundry and Lexi does the dishes, but like that doesn't mean that sometimes I won't do the dishes and sometimes she won't do the laundry. You know, like,
right. That's one thing I feel like should build a relationship together too. Is before you move in together at least, Like, or as you move in, like,
But like
understanding stuff.
The expectations of what it is.
Like, I should not have to come in every day, which I have never done, and see a sink full of dishes and do them, and feel like I have to clean the house, make the dinner, do the laundry,
While
make
somebody
dinner.
else is just laying down or doing nothing.
Well, make dinner usually I do, because Christian can't cook.
I did try to make dinner, guys.
In the fence.
I can make breakfast. I can make pancakes.
You can make sweet stuff and desserts, but like, I feel like I like to cook in general.
I feel like that's because I'm passionate about my sugar.
Wouldn't you say I generally like to cook?
And I mean, obviously, you're not gonna like to cook if you work all day. I mean, that's just like
it is
natural
tiring and it's hard. That's why we need to get meal prep kits or something like that, because it's just tiring.
So HelloFresh, you know, hello.
Hello. All right, guys. So I think we really hit all the main points and the questions asked. If there's any like one out there that wants to ask us any personal
Just
questions
comment
about
below.
it, like
we'll
comment
answer any of your questions.
and we'll answer them. I know there's a lot of young couples out there right now that are getting married. I'm 18 myself, and there's so many people in my class that have got married like this past year. I know there's me, Cheyenne, Maddie, and Alicia. There's at least 4 to 5 girls I know my age that are getting. And I feel like 18 is a common number. Like, I mean, think way back when people got married at 15.
There's a lot of people that get married at 18, and then they'll judge their kid if they get married at the same age as they did. Like,
right. I mean, I'm never going to judge my kid as long as I know that they're happy and they're with someone good.
Right. But guys, if you've enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the thumbs up button, subscribe if you're new, turn on the bell for notifications so you get updated every time we come out with a new video. Follow us on Instagram. We post polls, stories every day, reels too. Follow us on TikTok. That's where we post a lot. We post like 4 to 6 times a day. We have my channel. We're like the main channel of me and Lexi. We have our cats channel.
We started a funny cat channel.
But anyways, guys, we appreciate you all for watching. Peace out.